This is verse 11 of the first chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. As Matthew continues to work through the genealogy, we've come to Josiah. So Eosias is Josiah. De, postpositive again, a son from Genao, to be the father of, to beget. Tone, and here we have an interesting problem. This is Yekonion. There's a little bit of a textual dispute as to whether this is referring to Jehoiachin in the Old Testament, which is also known to us as Coniah or Jeconiah, which would be pretty similar. And there's also a Jehoiakim, who would be the predecessor. Before both of them is Jehoahaz, who was the first king that ruled after Josiah, but he only ruled for a few months, was hauled off into Egypt by Necho, the king of Egypt, and that brought then his successor, Jehoiakim, who ruled for some years and eventually died, and then his brother came, Jehoiachin. So we don't know which one is involved here. Certainly Matthew is skipping some of the references. The fact that we have Tus Adelphus mentioned would suggest this might be Jehoiakim, because he's the one that had brothers. We don't know of Jehoiachin having any descendants. So anyway, it remains a somewhat perplexing issue as to what exactly Matthew had in mind here. But one way or another, we have Josiah leading to the successor, who is Jeconiah or Coniah. That would be the most likely candidate, but it does raise some questions, as I've said. Kai Tus Adelphusautu, and the brothers of him. And of course, this is referencing then being carried away into captivity. Of course, the last king mentioned in the Old Testament is Zedekiah, who was actually an uncle. But it may be that Matthew is discounting him because he wouldn't actually be a legitimate personality in the chain of genealogical records. So we'll leave that problem aside as well. But it's epi. This is the preposition, takes the genitive feminine of the article, and then metoikisios. You'll notice meta here, the preposition, is the prefix for this word, can mean with or from, in the presence of that idea. And then the root of the word is oikisios, from oikos, which means a house. So it really means a transferring or a move to a different location, a different house, as it were, a different dwelling place. It's used here meaning a deportation, a carrying away, and then it's carried away into, in the genitive here, we have the word babulonos, Babylon, of course, so the time of the deportation into Babylon. So Matthew again has omitted a few names that might have been included. His particular motivation remains a little bit obscure, but one way or another he's now moved the genealogical line down to the deportation to Babylon, which is of course one of the major events in the history of God's people, and then we'll pick up next time from that point.